Hello and welcome to Business Live with me, Winston Taki. Coming up, Minerals and Income Fund to formally take over Damang Mine today after Goldfield's exit.
Meanwhile, they would work for the government of Ghana. I've already had a long-standing discussion with Ghana Commercial Bank. We put it in place. If it goes this way, everybody is protected.
Meanwhile, ASAP is cautioning government to be circumspect with its approach to nationalize certain operations in the extractive sector.
It's not only Christ that will be crucified, but the mining industry risks crucifixion as well. The government needs to exercise restraint, renew dialogue, and pursue a legally guided resolution that protects the interests of both the state and the investors.
Sisala Rural Bank to support farmers with 2.1 million Ghana cedis to support farming activities.
For the farmers as well, and for the year 2025, which is this year, we intend to do about 2.1 million, which is a good jump, and I'm sure it's sending a very good signal. It will create a lot of excitement in the community.
We have these and more coming up in this bulletin. Stay tuned. And on to our first business story. Government has nominated the Minerals and Income Fund to formally take over the Damang farm in the western region. Minister of Lands and Natural Resources Emmanuel Ama Kofi-Boa disclosed this in a high-level meeting to some workers of the mines earlier this week during a visit to the site. The move is part of measures to deal with the vacuum that will arise when Goldfields finally packs out by 5 p.m. today. Meanwhile, Goldfields has moved to terminate the contract of some workers and service providers on the Damang mine. Joy Business understands is part of effort to deal with the challenges that might come up when the operation stops today. We're also learning that another major supplier of natural gas for power for the mine has had its contract abrogated. Sources say Goldfield is doing this because the issuance cover for the mine will also come to an end from today. The company also wants to manage legal challenges that might come about after today. Meanwhile, the government has assured that all workers at Damang Mine will be absorbed by the state and new owners. Isaac Tando, Deputy Chief Executive of the Minerals Commission, shared these updates on the PM Express Business Edition.
After Friday, and again, you give the numbers 300.
Yeah.
What happens to those 300 people? What happens to
the
Adjoa Mansa who
in the interim, they would work for the government of Ghana. I've already had a long-standing discussion with Ghana Commercial Bank. We put it in place. If it goes this way, everybody is protected. In all this conversation, all that I've been trying to tell you right from the beginning is the interest of Ghana. So I am not going to do anything there that affects the Ghanaian who is working in there. It's his interest, that's why I'm fighting. So it doesn't make sense to try and get them out and what. So we are putting all sorts of arrangements, and we want to assure the people of Ghana that the people will be well treated and even start the work and increase whatever we are doing and be able to pick more people and benefit Ghana.
The Africa Center for Energy Policy has assured the government to proceed with caution in its approach to nationalizing operations within the extractive sector. In light of the government's decision not to renew the lease for Goldfields Damang Mine, ASAP's Executive Director, Ben Boache, has warned that failing to thoroughly engage in the negotiations and explore all arbitration options could lead to future legal challenges and deter potential investors.
The press conference, the Africa Center for Energy Policy, ASAP, expressed concerns about government's inability to exhaust all dialogue channels. The Executive Secretary of ASEB, Ben Boache, questioned why government is in such a haste to take over the Abosu Goldfields Limited starting tomorrow, April 18, 2025.
We had hoped that the communications between the government and the company will be maintained for a little longer to explore a possible compromise, whether that meant facilitating the company's exit or supporting its continued operation.
He detailed why ASEB believes government's decision could result in future legal battles.
By examining the laws and the information before us, the decision of the government to take over the mines after April 18th, which is tomorrow, 2025, is premature. The law is unambiguous in this matter. Section 27 of the Minerals and Mining Act 2006, Act 703, as amended, states, and I'll quote expressly, subsection 1 states that where a dispute arises between a holder of a mineral right and the Republic, all efforts shall be made through mutual discussions and, if agreed, through alternative dispute resolution procedures to reach an amicable solution. What this provision is saying is that when the company indicates its right to seek for redress in court, the government shall stay its action until that dispute is resolved before further actions could be taken. That is not what we are seeing.
He concluded by calling for a halt to the planned takeover.
ASEB calls for a halt in the operations to expropriate the mine tomorrow, and the indication that tomorrow is not only Christ that will be crucified, but the mining industry risks crucifixion as well. The government needs to exercise restraint, renew dialogue, and pursue a legally guided resolution that protects the interests of both the state and the investors.
Government has come under scrutiny for its decision not to renew the lease of some concessions under Goldfields Limited. While government insists it is working in the interest of the country, many experts believe extensive dialogue could save the country from future legal battles.
Still on the extractive sector, the Ghana Chamber of Mines has revealed that local content in the mining sector has experienced significant growth in recent years, making a substantial contribution to the country's economy. Speaking on upfront, acting chief executive of the chamber, Ahmed Nantongma, shared that over $3.2 billion was spent on local supplies and contracts. He emphasized that this figure could increase further if the government takes steps to safeguard and support the sector.
Do you have figures to back how much of an immense blessing your chamber has been, and by extension members of your chamber have been, to this country in terms of taxes and perhaps jobs that you're creating?
I think I did mention that we are the highest taxpayer by far, and overtaking cocoa and other sectors. So you can imagine, I think for last year, for about 11 million or 11 billion cedis in taxes to the state alone. So that is outside all the social responsibilities that we pay. And even if you look at local content, mining companies in last year spent about $3.2 billion in this country on local purchases, local content. That is goods supplied by Ghanaian-owned companies and based in Ghana. So if you take this into perspective, this is even more than the IMF loan that we went for.
In other development, the board chairman of the Sisala Rural Bank, Adam Sule, has disclosed that the bank will roll out 2.1 million cedis to support the activities of farmers in the Sisala enclave. He said the bank, being a community bank, knows the needs of the community and has seen that the lives of the people revolve around farming. Adam Sule made the disclosure at the 13th annual general meeting of the Sisala Rural Bank.
The Sisala Rural Bank was established 20 years ago with the objective to be a dominant financial institution with the provision of sound and modernized financial services and infrastructure within the Sisala enclave. Speaking at the 13th annual general meeting of the Sisala Rural Bank, chairman of the board of directors, Adam Sule, noted that the year 2024 represented a reflection of hope, opportunities, and turning point for the bank, where bold decisions were taken by the board of directors and significant gains made. Adam Sule was satisfied with the performance of the bank, which recovered from a negative 800,000 Ghana cedis loss to a profit of 78,000 Ghana cedis, which he said is worth celebrating.
The narrative is looking very good, very promising. I'm sure we are creating a lot of excitement today. From where the bank is today is unimaginable. To have started from a loss position of about negative 800,000, moved it in 2023, closed the gap by about 50% to about negative 400,000, and posting a profit of 70,000 2024. That definitely is something that is worth celebrating.
He announced that the bank this year will make available 2.1 million Ghana cedis to support farmers in the Sisala enclave.
We understand what we have to do as a community bank. It's all about financial inclusion. To a very large extent, we have involved the communities across sectors. We've had to do some very innovative products and then some business solutions for commercial people and for the farmers as well. And for the year 2025, which is this year, we intend to do about 2.1 million, which is a good jump. And I'm sure it's sending a very good signal. It will create a lot of excitement in the community. And know very well that this bank has come to stay, is going nowhere.
Chief Executive Officer of the bank, Tan ASNS, spoke about the improvement in the infrastructure and granting of loans.
And then there has been a massive development in infrastructure. We have to give facelift to all our branches and then the head office. Bank is a bank that has future, and then I want that all the public, they should come on board. They should be rest assured that their deposits are safe, and then they will get the needed customer experience that they want.
Managing Director of ARB Apex Bank, Alex Wisi-Ewa, in a speech read on his behalf by the War Branch Manager of ARB Apex Bank, Trinidad Frederick, commended the Cesar Rural Bank for working to improve, among others, assets and profit of the bank.
This effort, albeit modest, deserves commendation because it shows that with the right structures and focus, performance of the bank will improve tremendously.
General Secretary of the Sisala Development Network, Sidnet, Yusuf Napuna Alidu, commended the bank for the initiative to support farmers in the area.
But I believe very well if we invest in our farmers and then the risk components, we take it out. We know the local people. We know how to get it done. And I believe very well that the board of directors, we have a plan out in order to retrieve the monies. Then we can grow the bank and make it stronger.
Reporting for Joy News, Rafik Salam, Tumu.
We have more business update for you right after this break. Stay watching. Welcome back from that break. Now to more business update. The Ghana Association of Forex Bureau is calling on the government of Bank of Ghana to revisit some of the current regulatory guidelines governing their operations. According to the president of the association, Dr. Alex Akpabili, the central bank should introduce more flexibility to allow Forex bureaus to expand their services and leverage technology for more efficient and suitable transactions.
The Ghana Association of Forex Bureau is a professional organization that was being established to regulate and promote the activities of Forex bureaus across the country. It also has some other key objectives, by ensuring the stabilization or supporting the stabilization of the national currency. And it also makes sure its members adhere to the guidelines of the Bank of Ghana. Well, I mean, recent times we've seen the stabilization of the Ghana cedi, and I have here the president of this particular association, Dr. Alex Akpabili. Dr. Alex Akpabili was then vice president for 5 years and now being elected as the president of this particular association. You'll be helping me delve into this particular space, the prospects, the challenges, and the way forward with respect to the Ghana Association of Forex Bureau. Grateful to have you, Doc. By the way, let me say congratulations. I mean, being elected as the president of this particular association and also being the vice president for 5 years. I would want to know, how was the journey like being the vice president for 5 years?
Thank you very much, Shane. Yes, for 5 years I happened to be the vice president, helping the president to execute his mandate. So I was at the forefront of many of the things that he did. And so, although it has not been easy, we faced so many challenges, but by God's grace, where we are. There was an election, and by God's grace, the mantle fell on me to, take the position as president. So I'm now, as we speak, the president of the Ghana Association of Forex Bureaus.
How was the election? Was it quite tough?
Not really, because I have done most of the work for the president, so automatically most people knew that I should be the right person, to take the position of president. So during the election, I think I was voted for massively, and there wasn't any, as to say, competition like the normal election would be experiencing.
Now let's delve into your plan being the president of the association. But I want some clarification. How many years are you supposed to spend as the president?
Per our constitution, 2 years, then you go for an election. And but what happened in this industry is that most people, fear to take, the mantle as president. So it will surprise you to know that our former president before, Mr. Katie Dazi spent 20 years, 2 decades as president, all because people were not willing to take that position.
Now, back to your plan and your vision for the association. I know your association seems to be one of the most pivotal when it comes to our Ghana cedi, for that matter. What is your plan? What is the vision going into 2025 and the years ahead of us?
Well, let me start by saying that, you see, in 1988, under the Structural Adjustment Program, the then Finance Minister Kwesi Botwe and the Central Bank Governor, one in the person of Dr. G.K. Agama, established the Forex bureaus, to make available foreign currency to businesses and individuals, and also to the inefficiencies and the restriction. Then the black marketing too was, booming. So they brought the Forest Bureau to sort of trying to regularize, what was happening then, so that they can have a legal and a legal entity to champion, the Forex Bureau transactions. Or Forex transactions, yes, it will, yeah.
So how do you plan, and what are some of your plans?
In fact, with our industry has gone through so many challenges, okay? And for me now, I am trying to enhance the credibility, the efficiency, and the sustainability of the industry. What has happened so far is just that the rapid, shift towards digital financial services is significantly existential threat to our survival. And so my concern now is to work, for the sustainability of this industry.
Now, talking about, you made mention of the fact that the technology is really driving. Are there plans to collaborate with some of these banks to, to ensure that you guys are not being left behind?
Absolutely. I think that in the past, the ethos that underpin our establishment was not followed by. We were just sort of just complying to regulations. Okay, so for me now is to strengthen the relationship between us and the Bank of Ghana and other financial institutions, so that we can see how we can sustain this industry. Okay, the introduction of fintech firms has actually, if we're not careful, or let me put it this way, if we do not innovate, we will die. If we just continue to do, as it were, the whole thing, we will die. So there is a need for the association now to collaborate with Bank of Ghana to see how best we can innovate.
But what has been the greatest challenge with respect to your particular association since 1988?
Well, the greatest challenge has been the black, market, this unregulated Forex transactions and the black market. You see, we report, and so the Bank of Ghana, and for that matter, or by extension, government have, data about the amount of foreign exchange that we buy and sell. But when it comes to, the unregulated, Forex bureaus and then the black marketing, nothing is recorded. And it promotes also what we capital flights, and then this question of illicit financial transactions.
Now, how do we get our head around this particular black market challenge? I mean, it's been there for some time now. When you walk around Accra and its environs, you see them all over, talking about Kwame Nkrumah Circle, airport, and all that. How do we get our head around this?
Yes, like you rightly said, even they are older than us. They've been in the system before our establishment. Yeah. It has not been easy, trying to get rid of them.
That's all for the news here on the Business Live. For more business update, visit myjoyonline.com/business. As you can see, we are not chasing out all mining companies that, according to the Minerals Commission, Deputy Boss Defense Damang Takeover, and also Engineering Council to get rid of unlicensed engineers by July 2025. My name is Winston Taki. Thanks for watching. Have a good Friday. Bye-bye.